Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, our production of Gore column in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. With us today, happy to have him back, Frank Carnevale, who's also celebrating Italy's big Euro Cup win yesterday. But more importantly, he's the Chief Growth Officer at Universal PropTech, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange on the stock symbol UPI, and for our friends in the US, UPIPF. Something you should know about this company, over $35 million in revenue over the last 3 years. They've been used by the federal government facilities for over 40 years. Clients include Canada Post, Brookfield, Billy Bishop Airport, on and on. And they're a leading prop tech company. We're going to talk about that. But the press release we're talking about, Universal PropTech grows backlog to approximately $6 million. Frank, Chief Growth Officer, welcome back.
Thank you very much, George. Great to be here.
Hey, how big is this relative to previous years? Is $6 million a big number? Or is that par for the course?
Well, I think it's a big number. It's we're 10 months into our fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts September 1st. To put in perspective, we started this fiscal year about $1.5 million lower in backlog than the previous year. And here we are after 10 months, we're $1.5 million higher than we were exactly a year ago. That's a swing of about $3 million. So I think that shows some pretty great momentum.
And it seems like it's accelerating because your backlog at the end of April, you're $800,000 higher than just the end of April. So what happened there?
Yeah, it's you get the best of both worlds, because with the backlog, I mean, you can turn that into revenue as the contracts indicate that you'll be turning them into revenue. So that's exciting. It means we know come hell or high water, we have another $6 million to push through on the revenue side. But it also means the fact that we're going 2 more months since the end of April and we're still growing that number gives you a good indication of we're definitely putting out revenue every month and we're increasing our backlog. So we're looking forward to reporting our Q3 shortly, which gives a better sense of how we've converted that to revenue. But I think it says a lot about where the market's going. It says a lot about, our backlog is made up of awarded work in projects and in service contracts, and they can take any period of time to execute. What it doesn't include is repair work. So when we get repair work on a job, so we're doing a service contract where our people are on site and we can get maybe a 5,000, 10,000, we get additional repair, like immediate repairs. That's additional revenue that's not already in our backlog. So we're looking forward to everything that comes with having this significant backlog.
How much of this is government funding assisted? I'm not saying you guys get it directly.
Yeah.
But George Calm, real estate has a bunch of buildings. Maybe they're getting funding. Is a lot of that coming from there?
Yeah, we're definitely. I mean, we've had some announcements in the last few weeks and month. June was a great month, and we've had a lot of school board, a lot of institutions announcing project work, right? And that's where a lot of the work's coming in. That was expected. We expect to continue. If a school board today, literally, actually, if a month ago a school board had signed a contract to install ultraviolet germicidal, systems to air purification systems to clean their air across all their schools, that wouldn't be done in time until the end of the year. So really put in perspective, we think there's a lot more work to come. We're going to do our best to get our share of that. In fact, new people have started today. Looking forward to working with them on the mechanical side to really get our piece of the pie on that.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, 10 months in seems like a pretty strong trend. This wasn't just one good quarter where everyone can have one good quarter or something like that. You're Chief Growth Officer. You kind of expect this trend to continue, and if so, how far into the future does? And as far as you can see, maybe further, but how far in the future can you see where you think the pipeline just keeps?
Well, from the organic side, absolutely, we expect the trend to continue. I mean, we're really firing on all cylinders. We know seasonally, the second quarter can end up being a slower quarter generally, but that's from annually, we see that things slow down December, January. It's not the best time to be getting new work in the door.
Sure.
But surprisingly, we've had a pretty good run since the beginning of the year, and we expect to continue to see more work come out, things that we'll continue to bid on and pick up. So we're excited about that. But we recently announced, we talked about it, we do have an ambitious agenda to look to acquire other companies and grow our book of business beyond just organically. So I think numbers will change as we get some of those on the roster and in front of people.
Yeah, and you don't see, for everybody at home, you don't see my questions in advance. I was actually about to ask that. Okay, how much is this organic growth? And if it's mostly organic, how much you expect to come from M&A? Because you guys are embarking on an aggressive M&A strategy. So you
Yeah,
got some good targets out there.
there's some great targets. I think it's just the problem with targets is you need to be a bit opportunistic of when they're looking to sell and the timing for them. And if we're experiencing and feeling pretty good that the market's going to have a lot of revenue come its way, then might not be the best time for a lot of people to want to sell. So we need to make sure we have a good value prop to convince them why they should be selling to us. And I think the last 6 months, 7 months just really helped prove to people, to staff we have a lot of staff who've actually come back. We're here who left, who now they're coming back. That says a lot about what they believe in this company. And we need that same mindset to really, help convince other sellers of companies to say we're the company they should be partnering with or selling to, and see their success with us. So all of this is serving its purpose to accomplish that.
And
So
this does include your COVID initiative, which I know you guys aren't talking about much because you want to wait for some more data, but this doesn't include much of your COVID testing initiative, right?
No, I mean, look, we made our investment. We're going to watch that play out, and it should play out as soon as they can come back and report on it. As soon as we're allowed to say how great it's going, we'll do that. But that doesn't even include that. That's something that was pretty strategic, and we'll see. There's some great articles out there about what's happening with everyone being vaccinated and the people who aren't being vaccinated, and access to facilities. And Israel and certain states are already creeping back up in some various numbers on COVID infected. So I think we haven't seen this thing play out yet, but certainly the next few months will be quite critical to see the success of a lot of that as well.
Last question, devil's advocate. Any chance we're going to see a pretty significant drop off though in business activity this week because you're too busy celebrating Italy's victory in the Euro final?
No, that all happened yesterday. I celebrated yesterday, got that out of the way, and actually still got some work done, so I'm pretty good.
No, if you got work done yesterday during that, then you are the chief growth officer of the year.
Well, when's the best time to approach people is when they're happy and they're celebrating. So no, it's things aren't slowing down. So it's gonna be a great summer. Kids are at camp, a lot of time spending at the office and making calls and getting people to move ahead on some items. So we're really looking forward to the rest of this year. And our Q3 is coming out shortly at the end of the month. So we're it's going to be a really great run to the end of this fiscal year. And
finally, as the serious final question, fair to say that despite the fact that we're now in those heavy summer months, right? A lot of vacationing, a lot of things slow down a little bit. Fair to say that you guys aren't letting your foot off the gas and that there's more coming?
There's a lot more coming. We're not done for announcements. We're not done for executing. Our guys are swamped executing work all day long. And we're continuing to look for more people to hire to help with that. And I know we're making a lot of new proposals as well. So it's pretty exciting, hasn't slowed down, and don't see it slowing down for a while.
Well, and we can leave you there then, because we know you're gonna have we know we're gonna have you back. But listen, at the end of the day, all kidding aside, having a $6 million backlog and having that $3 million flip over where you were in September, on September 1st, the beginning of your fiscal year, that's a massive flip. That's a great indicator. There's nothing better in the small cap world. We tend to talk a lot about George Com widgets. They're going to be really great widgets and they're going to have really great features, but at the end of the day, the rubber has to hit the road and you got to get the sales, you got to get the deals, and you guys are getting them. And Frank, congratulations.
Yeah. And just remind people, no debt, right? So cash on hand, no debt. So we're having a lot of fun doing this, and we'll continue to grow as much as we can grow.
Hey, we're having fun having you on, and can't wait to have you come back on, because nothing better than talking about success and you guys delivering it. And for everybody at home, we used to think maybe building services and all that may be kind of boring, but PropTech world has seen $7.3 billion in financing in 2020 for over 300 deals. There have been 100 PropTech M&A deals in the US in 2020. So this is no longer your dad's old business services kind of company. This is a brand new world, right, Frank?
Well, George, you're right. It's very new world. In fact, that's a great segue. We just had a premiere launch of our latest corporate video on our YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, go look up Universal PropTech. We just launched about a minute long, and it's exciting because it really gives you a good glimpse into, where we're going into the future, and you'll learn a lot of things on that video.
Well, and for everyone at home who's wondering where I go find that, I'll make sure that we have the link on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, on the UPI forum on Agoracom. So if you're reading about the announcement of this interview, the video is going to be there. That YouTube video is going to be there. Well, congrats, Frank. Can't wait to have you back, buddy.
Thanks, George. We'll talk soon.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast to Frank Carnevale, Chief Growth Officer of Universal PropTech, trades on the TSX Venture under the stock symbol UPI. And for our friends in the US, UPIPF. For those of you new to the story, because you're seeing these kind of big headlines, anytime someone sees $6 million backlog, we know that attracts attention. Make sure you do your due diligence. Two things. First, get to Agoracom. The profile page for UPI really neatly summarizes all parts of this business. So you get a great overall view of the company to understand that. And then to do your deep dive due diligence, you can see it right above Frank, universalproptech.com. Get there, do your deep dive, hopefully discovered your next amazing small cap company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and then leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel so you don't ever miss another great Agoracom small cap video.